All right, I've got Gregory Yap from the Investor Relations team from Sunpower Group. Of course, thank you so much, Gregory, for joining us.
Sure.
Sunpower Group specializes in environmental solutions such as heat waste recovery, of course, energy saving solutions and clean power. Help us walk through Sunpower's business model. How does it make money and which markets are you focused on?
Sure. Well, Ryan, we think that we have a unique business opportunity right now in front of us because China is facing a lot of air pollution problems. So we view our social statement as helping citizens, helping children in particular, to breathe easier, and perhaps in some locations to see blue skies for the very first time. What we do is that we are trying to build a portfolio of assets that will help to reduce air pollution. What these assets are is that they produce industrial steam in a clean way, because the Chinese government has identified one of the biggest sources of air pollution in China is the usage of small coal-fired boilers that are used to generate steam by industrial users. Now, the government has mandated that such boilers can no longer be used and that all the industry users must switch over to clean, centralized facilities such as ours. In addition to that, what's happening is that there is a structural change in the industrial landscape where factories cannot be built haphazardly anywhere that they like, but they have to be concentrated in industrial parks that are only served by industrial steam providers such as ours. So these facilities are clean. They do not generate, they generate some pollution, but they generate much lower pollution compared to the small boilers. So our portfolio of assets will generate very good long-term cash flow for us and profitability, of course, so that at the end of the day, what we will have is a business that contributes the bulk of our company's intrinsic value. We are mainly concentrated in China right now.
China being one of the biggest markets right now.
It is the primary market, but we also export our environmental protection technology to more than 10 countries, of which 8 are Belt and Road countries.
So the tighter regulations actually is playing out very well for Sunpower. What are some of its unique competitive advantages against the competition?
Okay. It's not enough to be able to generate steam in a clean way. You have to have a way to distribute that steam. And our key advantage really lies in our long-distance pipeline technology, where we are able to control the loss of pressure as well as the loss of temperature. Because after all, once steam cools down, what you get is water, right? So that's not what our users want. But being able to cover a much larger geographical area compared to the competition gives us a couple of advantages. One, in terms of pricing, because we get much larger economies of scale. And we are also able to cover a larger area with just one centralized steam facility compared to the competition who may need 2 or 3. Right, so you can see from that, these two angles, those are already very strong competitive advantages. But I would say, in a non-technological way, one of our strongest competitive advantages also is the fact that we are first mover in this area. We have identified this area early. In fact, you see a lot of water treatment companies, but you see very few air-related companies. In fact, only one, and that's us.
But Gregory, maybe one more advantage is your backing from strategic
indeed,
investors.
Yes.
Walk us through some of the names.
Okay. We have 2 strategic investors. They are private equity funds, in fact, very well-known established funds. CDH is quite well-known in China. DCP, the second one, by themselves, probably not so well-known, but the personality, the owner behind it, was the chairman of KKR Asia. In fact, he was KKR's top executive in China. So these guys do not invest just on gut feel. They invest by the financial numbers, and they have seen the potential as well as the progress that we have made in this area that they think is worth supporting for the long term. So they've given us something like more than $200 million locked in for 5 years. At a low cost, and that's how we are able to carry forward our strategy right now of going into this area.
Okay, so you mentioned a lot about potential. So what is the potential pipeline, the outlook looking for you for the next year?
It's building up, because every Chinese city right now that is of note has to have to meet certain very ambitious targets on how much they want to bring down the air pollution in their areas of coverage. Under the 2013 Clean Air Action Plan, it only covered 3 areas. Basically, the 3 megalopolises of China, Yangtze River Delta, the Pearl River Delta, as well as the Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei areas. Under the new 2018 action plan to fight for blue skies, they have extended that to more than 200 cities. So each of these cities has to have their own targets to meet. So we are getting calls every week, to help for us to help them to do that, and that gives us access to a lot of projects. Like I said earlier, we are in a very unique window to be able to capture attractive projects, that can give us very attractive returns.
Okay, so as an investor looking through some of your financial numbers, if I look at the first half of 2018 versus last year's first half of 2017, we will notice that profit and revenue are up, but margins are going down.
Yeah.
How do investors read these numbers?
We want to build size, and we want to do it quite aggressively. Not as aggressively to the extent, where you throw financial discipline out the window, but quite aggressively. We have targeted to invest 2.5 billion renminbi from now until the year 2021, and we already invested and committed to around half of that. First half of 2017, we did not have this business of clean centralized steam plants, which we call green investments, or GI for short. In the first half of 2018, we do. So obviously there are costs involved in building up this business. But regardless, despite that, our first half net profit is already half that of the entire year last year. And first half is usually a weaker period for us because of festive-related seasonality in the first quarter, for instance. All right. So in terms of growth, we are showing the desired numbers. In terms of margins, we're down slightly because we're still in the build-up phase. But think about it, by the year 2021, when we have a mature portfolio of green investment assets, we will be generating a lot of cash flow. All right, and really the margins that we see now is not representative of these projects at a mature phase. We're still ramping up, but already green investments is at 40% of our profitability. So we're highly encouraged. We had ambitious targets. In some of our projects, we're actually exceeding those targets. So we think we're on track.
All right, so a lot of investments in place. Thank you so much, Gregory Yap. He is from the investor relations team from Sunpower. Thank you so much for chatting with Money FM 89.3.
Thank you, Ryan.
Money FM 89.3.